Today I'm going to compare the two capital cities, San Jose, Costa Rica, and Panama City, Panama. Now this trip I've been in San Jose for over a week to allow me to find all the right information. Now if you Google how to get to Tamarindo, the Pacific side, or how to get to Puerto Viejo on the Caribbean side, most websites will tell you to jump into a shuttle after you arrive at San Jose Airport and take off from there. You don't need to spend a lot of time in San Jose. This is how it's been ever since I lived in Costa Rica. But with time, things change. So in this video, I'm going to go over quite a few points, including population, infrastructure, airports, popular areas for foreigners, and the range in prices for real estate, safety, things to do, weather, and cost of living. First, the population of Panama City is 2.06 million people, and the population of San Jose is 1.42 million people. Panama City has gotten a jump start when it comes to the economy and expats. But San Jose, I have to say, is starting to catch up. I'm staying in an area called La Sabana, which is basically San Jose city center, I'm guessing. Close to a lot of restaurants, coffee shops. I've gone out many times by myself, felt totally safe, and the Costa Rican people are very, very friendly. Also, one thing that I should add is in Panama City, there is a few more people speaking English. In San Jose, people are trying, but what I've noticed is there's not a lot of English speaking. So now I'm gonna go over the time it takes to get to a beach. So you would think Panama City, being coastal, would have a beach. Well, not exactly. The closest time to a good beach would be probably Playa Caracol or Coronado area. Coronado doesn't really have a beach. It's like a black sand beach, but Playa Caracol has a white sand beach for miles. It is about a 90-minute drive depending on traffic. In San Jose, it is inland. So the temperature obviously changes and people head out to the beach. They're already used to heading out to the beach. And to head out to the closest beach would be Jaco. And Jaco is about an hour, 41 minutes. Which brings me to infrastructure. Driving into San Jose, you're going through tunnels, wide roads. Yes, there's a lot of traffic, but there's a lot of traffic anywhere in Latin America. There's sidewalks. I didn't notice a lot of potholes. And there's quite a few toll roads. Now, Panama City is building it, but it seems to be taking a very long time. It is coming as they've expanded the metro station out to the airport, the metro station out to La Chorrera. I know I pronounced that wrong. They're expanding it out there over the bridge, over the Panama Canal, but it's taking a very long time. And then there's also a 2 to 3 lane highway going all the way out there as well, and it hasn't opened yet. Okay, so now I'm going to get into airports. Why? Because a lot of foreigners need to be in a proximity of an airport. If you're a digital nomad just like me, you need to be able to get around. So SJO, or San Jose Airport, is kind of on the outskirts of the city, but they have the city going all the way around it, so they can't really expand. The airport itself is quite small. There's not a lot of parking. I know this from previous experience. I parked my car 2 or 3 years ago. For about 4 or 5 days, it cost me over $300 US. And that's because there is so little parking. Now in Panama City, they have Tocumen. Tocumen's home to Copa Airlines. They've built a brand new terminal and they're about to build another terminal and then renovate the other one. They've been adding all sorts of shops. It's very nice, it's very open. It's a great point or hub if you're traveling throughout Latin America. Okay, so now I'm going to get into some of the areas. I did mention La Sabana, luxury buildings and coffee shops, restaurants, etc. Looking out these windows, I can see 4 different buildings being built. So this is definitely a booming area, and price points are very, very reasonable, and I'll get to that later on in the video. Other areas are Escazú and Santana. They are more gated communities, standalone homes, but they also have condos. And they're very close to 2 different multi-plazas, many different grocery stores, and everything that you possibly need. Now in Panama City, there is quite a few different hubs for expats. There's Costa del Este, there's Ocean Reef Islands, then you go to the downtown city center. It's not really called downtown city center, but I'm calling it city center. It's Punta Pacifica, Punta Paitilla, and Marbella. And then you go out Avenida Balboa and then keep going and you go to Casco Viejo or San Felipe. And those are many different areas all built up, all ready to go for expats or for foreigners. A lot of very similar builds to what you would get back home in North America or in Europe. Okay, so now if you're wanting to live in either, you're gonna wanna know about safety, because a lot of people ask me, is it safe in Costa Rica or is it safe in Panama City? And yes, the answer to that is yes, but you have to be very aware. Like, you're not going to go to a remote area where there's not a lot of foreigners. You've got to kind of stick to your areas. It's the same in Medellin, it's the same in basically every single city. Even in North America, you're not going to go to areas that you're not familiar with. Now, I was warned a lot by not going through certain areas in San Jose, but things have changed. A friend recommended that I go through Escalante. It was totally safe. I was walking around at night, there were no issues whatsoever. There's another nightclub area. It's a heavy, heavy, heavy police presence, so you're definitely not going to have any problems. Now in Panama, I've never really felt unsafe. There's all the areas that I've listed basically are all connected, and you can just walk and walk dependent on the time. You can go in the middle of the night. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can. And during the day, you never have an issue. So in San Jose, they have a national stadium. And having a national stadium makes a big, big difference. It's right in the middle of the city. It's connected to a giant park with tennis courts, basketball courts, a running track, and loads of greenery. In the stadium, they have hosted U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it's where you will see a football match if you're wanting to go see the Costa Rican team play the Panamanian team. Now in Panama City, they do have a stadium, but it is like way outside the city. It's in another area. You have to catch maybe like a $20 Uber to get there. I've personally never been. I've never heard of a big concert like U2 or Red Hot Chili Peppers playing there. I have heard that baseball gets played there, but I can't find any information on it. Both have kind of older towns as well. So Casco Viejo, I would say, is a lot prettier, and older towns are more like Centro. Centro had a lot of, we went to a Saturday market. You definitely want to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings. There is a ton of people everywhere. But you can get a lot of really awesome food and basically anything that you need for the week there for a fraction of the cost of what you're going to get at Multiplaza. Next, I've been talking about walking around, so you're probably wondering what the weather is like. So in San Jose, in September, the weather right now, it is a rainy season. It's also rainy season in Panama. The high is usually around 26, low of 19, which means in Fahrenheit, high of 78, low of 66. Now in Panama City, the high is usually around 30, low of 26, which means high of 86, low of 78. But because it's coastal, the humidity really gets to you. It's usually around 85 to 90% humidity, and you're literally sweating everywhere or everything that you do. Cost of living. So the colones is the currency in Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, you can use US dollars or colones. I don't suggest using US dollars because people will not give you a very good exchange rate. And I haven't really tried using American dollars in city center. I do know that in the coastal cities, they do accept it a lot more. But knowing that, the colones right now is at 510 colones to a US dollar. To give you an idea, 3 years ago when I lived in Tamarindo, it was 720 to a US dollar. So things were much, much cheaper if you were using US dollars. Now things have gotten to be a lot more expensive. It's that extra 200 colones on the dollar that just seem to disappear. So because of that, Costa Rica as a whole has gotten to be a lot more expensive. Many websites say that the average cost of living is 6 to 8% more expensive in Costa Rica than in Panama City. But most of that is on par for basic living expenses. It's just that transportation costs are a lot more expensive in Costa Rica. Panama City is obviously coastal and San Jose is obviously inland. The base of these comparisons are to help a foreigner or someone that is interested in either one of these areas to make an informed decision of where they would like to go next. Now, I know that I've done past videos where Costa Rican people have got upset with me, but you have to understand, if you're a Costa Rican looking at Panama, you're considered a foreigner. If you're a Panamanian looking at Costa Rica, you're considered a foreigner. That works all throughout Latin America. It works with North Americans and even Europeans. If you are coming from another country, you are considered a foreigner. If you like this video, please check out some of my other comparisons where I'm comparing other areas to one another, or some of my guides to specific towns all throughout Latin America.